It's time for the Friday show of the 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour. Hello, everyone, and welcome to, well, the field of play. It's Friday, and the pros are just wrapping up shooting. We're going to have scores for you a little bit later on in the show. Where we're located, well, that's kind of a whole nother thing for this Black Eagle new breed Pro-Am, because we're in Georgia, we're on the Alabama border, we're in the Eastern time zone, Central time zone, we're at Fort Benning. Listen, I don't want to explain it all to you. Let's kick this thing off and get you to Mike Terrell, who's the president of ASA, who's going to explain more about where we are and what we're doing.
We are currently at Uchee Creek MWR, which stands for Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. It's a facility designed for the military here, actually at Fort Benning. And when we start coming to this facility, it's kind of confusing because we're actually just outside of Columbus, Georgia. And Fort Benning is in the Georgia side, but this is part of Fort Benning on the Alabama side, which is outside of Phoenix City, Alabama, in Russell County. We've been coming here for almost 20 years off and on, so it's a great facility. Our facility here, we have 14 ranges of 20 targets each. We have a 40 target practice range. We have a 50 target bag range. We got a 20 target limb saver range. We got about 400 targets strewn around this place. We averaged, the last 3-4 years, we've averaged about over 1,800 shooters here. And we feel, I mean, the weather report this week, I didn't even want to talk about it. In the 25 years of ASA history, this is the first time we've had a weather report that said it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be sunny, it's not going to be rainy, it's not going to be wet and damp. And I was like, okay, I don't even want to see that anymore. I don't want to jinx this thing. So we're not even saying the R word. Pretty heavy pine. They're in a lot of areas are mature pine, some planted pine. So basically from that standpoint, there's not a lot of trickery going on. There's a couple ranges that we have set aside for the pros. They have a couple of elevation issues that's going to give them some challenges. One is actually right down by the Chattahoochee River. It's it's probably one of the prettiest ranges you'll ever see. And that's going to have a couple of tricks for them. The average archer is going to come in here. It's relatively flat. It's an easy walk. Everything's within walking distance of the village. And the light and dark is going to be the biggest trick. Part of the problem we are at this time of year is daylight savings time kicked in 2 weeks ago. We actually won't even have daylight here until 7:30 in the morning. So getting people warmed up and on the ranges and shooting won't even happen until 8 o'clock. That's part of the problem. And the other part of the problem is because we're part of Fort Benning, we're on Eastern time, as is Phoenix City, ironically enough. And that's the only part of Alabama that's on Eastern time. The rest of the places on Central time. And so we constantly have to tell people, please default your cell phones and stuff to Eastern time, and you might make it here on a timely basis. The pros will shoot their first rounds at 1 o'clock. We'll do a team shoot with called the Fort Benning Cup, and each military unit on the base sends out a 4-man team, and we'll have them out shooting with some pros that are going to be available to us. And that's a lot of fun, and we always take care of the military guys real well, and they'll have lunch included, and we'll have them shooting with some pros and getting them taken care of. And we've probably got, I know we've got at least one really nice prize for every one of them. Well, unlike Foley, where we go inside on Saturday night, here we'll be outside actually using the facility. So we'll start here at 4 o'clock with the youth awards and go straight into the pro shoot down competition starting around 4:30 Saturday, and they'll see a great shoot down.
Eastern time or standard?
It's Eastern time, man. Everything here is Eastern time. Get a watch.
And then Sunday, tell us what the schedule is.
Sunday, again, we can't start shooting until 8 because of lighting situation. So all the amateur classes will go off at 8 o'clock. We will be able to finish all the amateur classes by noon on Sunday. We'll do the awards at 1 o'clock, and by 3 o'clock will just be a faint memory of the people here at MWR. That's a wrap.
A quick look at the leaderboard after Friday's shooting. Have the women's pro class. Emily McCarthy leading 14 up. Sharon Wallace is 10. Cara Kelly 6. And then a tie for 4th place between Laura Chenault and Christine Harrelson. They're all even. In the senior pro class, Tim Gillingham making his debut at 23 up over Scott Darnell and Tony Taza. Both of them have 14. Leftwich at 10 and Roger Willett in 5th spot with 8. On the men's pro side, Dan McCarthy, 20 up on the day over Jeff Hopkins, who's got 12. Jason Bennett, the second, 10. Logan Fry at 9, and Danny Evans tied with Levi Morgan at 6. On the known pro side, all tied up, 26 up for Qualls and Airsman. Qualls had 14 12s, Airsman had 13. And then Householder and Johnson at 24 apiece, Walthius at 22. Behind them, you can't see it, but there's a whole gaggle of shooters, all at 18 up. It's going to be fun to watch Known Pro tomorrow.
The goal of every archer when they come to an ASA 3D competition, shoot animal targets. But sometimes you need to practice and not on the animals. So why not on the Delta McKenzie practice bags? Here's PJ with more.
The Delta McKenzie range bag, that's what archers are practicing on here. And they will have dozens of these set up, lined up on the practice range. They're gonna take thousands of arrows through the weekend. And that's what we wanted to tell you about, because this is a bag that you can have in your backyard for practice. It's strong enough to take this pounding this weekend from these thousands of hits. Nice, simple, easy target. We're gonna go down range and take a close-up look at it, but we wanted you to see what the pros practice on when they're coming out to an ASA tournament.
All right, so we're here with tournament director Don Bailey. So Don's one of the guys who puts these Delta McKenzie range bags out every time. Don, you tell me from your experience, how much of a beating do these targets take, but they hold up?
Oh my goodness, we get them, we set them up, and people start shooting them on Wednesday, and from Wednesday all the way through Sunday, they get shot hundreds and thousands of times a day, and I mean, people just shoot them, and just it's unbelievable the amount of punishment they can take.
And you were saying, maybe the closer ones, they get kind of beat up. They're still shootable, but you said like the 45-50. A single person could be shooting that for years.
Correct. Yeah, you take the 20 and 25, and that's most people shoot that to get their bow sighted in and make sure everything's on, and they take the biggest beating. But your 50-yard bag, your 45-yard bag, and your 40-yard bag, they still get shot hundreds of times. But you can still take that same bag, take it home with you, and probably shoot it for another year or two. They take a beating like you wouldn't believe.
All right, so here we are downrange now, looking at the Delta McKenzie range bag. It's your typical bag construction filled with proprietary material that's built for stopping arrows. It's rated up to 400 feet per second, so there's a lot of crossbows that you can shoot into this. Now it is bag material, so you're only going to want to shoot field points into it, not for broadheads. But like I said, this thing just takes a beating after a weekend at an ASA. Think of how many thousands of arrows go into this. It's a good sturdy target. It's going to stop even the fastest compound bows, and it's really going to stand up to a beating. So hey, you can get one of these in your backyard, practice on it. You're certainly not going to put as much abuse through it as thousands of archers shooting at these targets, so it'll last you a long time.
So seeing the 3Ds that you see, how impressive is it to you to know what these targets take and still be able to be shot afterwards?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's like I said, it gets shot probably thousands of times, and you can take that. You take the 50-yard bag if you're lucky enough to get that, take it home. It'll last you it'll be sun bleached before you wear it out.
Hey, that's Don Bailey. If anybody knows what these targets can take, it's him. Thanks for your time, Don.
Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
As our Friday coverage of ASA continues, we've put together a little photo booth type thing where we're bringing pros in here that are leading the way in all 4 pro classes, and they're giving us their bits of information on how their day went, and we're putting it all together so you can check this out.
It was an incredible day. I got here a couple days ago and just judging and shooting the practice. Shot really good, and shot the team shoot yesterday, shot 10 up, and shot the Sims today, and it just kept rolling. Shot 8 up on that, and I knew it was going to be a good day.
You know, I'm working on a new release I got a day and a half ago, and you know, it's hard to trust new stuff sometimes. And walked over to the practice bags, popped 2 in the dot at 50, and thought, oh, okay. Walked to my first target and 5'd it straight left, which is what I was doing on the Sims, and I was like, it took everything in my power not to switch releases, and I rolled with it. I just told myself, hey, that's just like 2.5 8s. You know, if it keeps happening, then I might have to make a change. And I straightened it up, ended up having to put like 6 clicks in the bow, and I shot amazing after that. I shot 14 12s, no 8s, and you know, one of them days you can do no wrong.
Well, my day today actually started off rather slow. It started off with an 8, so just kind of having to scratch back and trying to claw back to get even. And after got even, numbers started clicking, shots started clicking again, and just kind of ended strong on a strong note, a couple 12s, and ended up 14 up. So it was a great day.
Biggest change probably I made this weekend is I switched to a trigger. I've shot a hinge now for two and a half years about, but my whole career prior to this, I've shot trigger for 14 years. It just fits me, feels natural. I shot a trigger at one event last year at IBO World Championship and won that tournament. And it's kind of always been in the back of my mind. Your shots just break so clean and feel good to me, and my background, I just shot it for so long, it feels so good. So I went back to a trigger and had a good first day, so can't really ask for much more than that.
I'm not going to worry about anybody but myself. I'm going to try to shoot a 12 on every target. If I do miss, I'm going to try to keep it into 10 and hopefully get up into the 20 somewhere. So
just missed a couple here or there today, which is basically just the difference that, you know, I need to be on top of the stack of women. So, I mean, really just go back, play my game, take it one target at a time, make the best shots I possibly can, and hope to catch some of those 12 rings tomorrow.
Of course, today was a bomb. I mean, it was a very, very difficult course. So I'm just going to see what dictates tomorrow as far as what the course throws at us, and just one target at a time.
They're going to shoot good. They always do. So they're going to make it really tough. So, I mean, just have fun and good luck tomorrow.
Sharon shot great today. She shot right below me, so I'm proud of her and Cara, and there's a bunch of them that did great. So I look forward to shooting with my friends tomorrow.
10 points out of first, so that's a lot of points. So I think tomorrow I'm going to play less safe. Safe, it worked in the beginning, but at the end I was 10 up after about 12 targets. So I need to gun for more at the end if I'm going to catch Dan and Jeff. So I'm probably going to play a little bit more aggressive tomorrow.
Good luck to everybody out there. You know, I'm coming out swinging, so you know, hopefully you guys do the same. It's going to be an interesting day going into the shoot-off.
That'll do it for our Friday coverage from the Black Eagle New Breed 2019 Pro-Am. Now make sure you check us out somewhere around 4 o'clock on the east side, 3 o'clock Central Time. We're going to come up with a little pregame show for you, then we'll right into the shoot-downs. You don't want to miss that coverage. It'll happen right where you're watching this video right now. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.